Welcome to PPC Cement's tutorial on how to build a braai. This is a simple structure that any DIY enthusiast should have no trouble completing over a weekend. There are many different ways to build a braai structure, and this video will guide you step by step through one of those methods. So let's get started. There are 7 basic steps to building your own braai. If you do not have a concrete slab or surface on which to build your braai, start at step 1 by pouring a new concrete slab. Or alternatively, go to step 2, which is dry fitting the bricks. After dry fitting the bricks, the next step would be to lay the first course. Lay the following 2 courses. Lay the grill, burning tray and table supports. Lay the final courses, and finally finish your braai. Step 1. Pour the concrete slab. Using the braai grill and tabletop as guides, determine the size and placement of the brick braai structure. Remember that the bricks go around the perimeter of the grill and under the tabletop. If you prefer a braai structure with walls thicker than a single leaf brick wall, account for that now. Excavate the area to a depth of approximately 200 millimeters, compact and level the ground, add crushed stone to a height of 75 millimeters and compact it well. Mix 1 part PPC's sure-build cement with 4 parts 19 millimeter stone and 5 parts of clean river sand with sufficient water to produce a stiff concrete. Place the concrete on top of the compacted stone until the hole is filled to ground level. Use a tamper to compact the concrete, which will expel the air. Smooth and level the slab using a straight edge and wood float. Follow the curing process described on the back of the PPC Sure-Build bag. The concrete should be hard enough to work on after 24 to 48 hours. Use a tape measure to determine the size of the area. Take this measurement with you to your local hardware store or use the PPC Builders app to determine how much cement, building sand, and how many bricks you will need. The second step is to dry fit the bricks. Before setting in mortar, lay out the first level of bricks for the braai using the braai grill and tabletop as guides. Lay the bricks end to end around the perimeter of the braai grill and under the tabletop, leaving a 10 to 15 millimeter gap between each brick to account for the mortar. Use the builder square to make sure that the bricks are perfectly square at the corners. Mark the outline of the bricks as a guide. If the bricks do not fit properly, you can use a brick bolster to cut them. Next, you will need to lay the first course of bricks. Mix 1 part PPC Sure-Build cement with 8 parts building sand in a wheelbarrow. Make a hole in the center. Slowly pour in small amounts of water and mix well. The mixture should be of a mud-like consistency which can be spread easily. Check the level of the concrete slab before spreading the first layer of mortar, compensating for any changes by adding more mortar when necessary. Trowel a generous layer of mortar along the marked lines where the bricks will sit. Lay the first brick by pressing it gently into the mortar so that the mortar is about 10 to 15 millimeters thick. Apply a layer of mortar to one end of the next brick before butting it against the first and pressing it into the mortar. Remove excess mortar as you work. Continue working in this fashion until the first course has been laid around the marked base of the braai. Check to make sure the course is square and level, adjusting a brick by tapping with a trowel handle. The fourth step is to lay the following 2 courses. Apply mortar to the top of the previous course. Start at the corners and lay another 2 courses of bricks. Lay the first brick by pressing it gently into the mortar, making sure to stagger the joints. Bricks may need to be cut with a brick bolster for a proper fit. Continue laying bricks until this and the following course are completed. As often as possible, use the straight edge and the spirit level to check that the two sides and inner wall are level, perpendicular, and that your structure is square. Step number 5 is laying the grill, burning tray, and table supports. Starting with the 4th course and continuing with every 2nd course thereafter, turn some of the bricks 90 degrees so that they jut out into the braai. These will serve as the burning tray and braai grill support ledges. Ensure that the burning tray and braai grill fit before laying the final courses. Complete another 2 courses on the walls surrounding the grill area. Once the brickwork has cured, you need to make the tabletop alongside the main body of the braai. Do this by setting the tabletop on a 25mm thick bed of mortar laid on the turned bricks on the internal wall and on the top course of the rear and remaining side wall. Use a spirit level to level the tabletop. Finally, you are ready to put the finishing touches on your braai. Create a neat top edge by adding a final course of solid bricks. Then when this is finished, check all levels again. To give a more professional finish to the exterior of the braai structure, use the pointing and grooving tool to rake and smooth the joints to create the familiar concave depression in the mortar before it stiffens. Once the mortar has set, use a stiff brush to scrape off remaining bits of loose mortar. Your braai will be ready to use within a day or 2. But the last thing I want to leave you with is always to wear protective clothing. Happy braaiing!